I believe we have an answer to the question: is Damien Comolli a subscriber of GJustjuve? Is he watching the video? And especially, did he watch and understood my request of the video of the 24th of July? The answer is a yes, 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 a triple yes, and that's what we'll speak about in today's video. I know that a lot of people are asking for acts and not words, but words can sometimes already be acts. Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel. I hope you're all doing well. I will slow down the pace even if I'm super excited. Why? Because I didn't sleep that well and I'm not sure if you're able to hear it at my voice. That is a bit gone. I don't know why, it's not that I screamed a lot, but anyway, it is what it is. So Damien Comolli, did you watch the video of the 24th of July? For the people that didn't watch it, go back and watch it, because I know that a lot of people watched that video. I know that a lot of people agreed, because that's important, agreed with the message that I was sending to someone that wanted to watch that video from Juventus Football Club. I was demanding to send some important messages, to be a bit more tough, to be a bit more the Juventus that I grew up with, a strong Juventus. I was asking some messages for players, some messages for agents, some messages for clubs that were interested in some of our players. It was time to send the big messages because it was important to do it, and also especially doing it publicly. And that's what happened yesterday. So yesterday Damien Comolli spoke. He was there in the corridors of the J Hotel. I know the structure quite well because I've been there a few times. The first thing that he said, well, he said a lot of things. I will go into details later, but a few big quotes that he said that I really appreciated. The first one, the most important one, the one that I appreciated the most, is when he's saying, when he speaks about Douglas Luiz, but it's sending a general message saying Juventus deserves respect. Nobody is bigger than the club. Nobody, not the players, not the agents, nobody, not even me. Nobody is bigger than the club. Juventus deserves respect. Grazie. Thank you, Damien Comolli. Thank you for stating this, to remember this, to remind this to a lot of people that from time to time, especially publicly, well, we hear a bit, we feel a bit of disrespect, and that's the base. The basic of everything. Juventus, a historical club as Juventus, deserves all the respect from the world. Everyone involved, also the fans. We can go back to victory is the one of the second message that he's saying. We can go back to victory, but I don't promise that it will happen immediately. But what I can promise is that we are working now to make it happen. That's what we are working on. Ragazzi, I love it. I love when we are telling me that Juventus is working to go back to victory. We cannot promise victory, the win of a Champions League, the win of the Scudetto, because don't forget there are 19 other opponents in Serie A. There are 35 other opponents in Champions League. There are a bit less, but still a lot of opponents in Coppa Italia. So ragazzi, promising to win is utopia, doesn't exist. You cannot promise to win. What you can promise, and what I'm expecting, is that you're telling me face to face, that you are reassuring me, telling me we are working to go back to victory, because this is the ultimate goal of Juve. Working here is not difficult, is another of his quote. Working here is not difficult. Thank you, Damien Comolli. Yes, the weight of La Maglia, the shirt is weighting, that you have a lot of pressure, that Juventus is a club that is bigger than the other ones, that you are feeling also the pressure from the fans. I understand it because you are the most title club in Italy. Great, fantastic. But if someone that is there is telling me, oh, working here is not difficult, well, you're reassuring me. Maybe you will totally fail. Maybe it will be a huge big flop. But at least he's telling us, and that's the message that he's sending to the supporters, guys, everything is under control. I told you, I will not promise you that we will go back to win immediately, but things are under control. Yes, there are tough things. Yes, there are things that looks easy but are not easy. There are things that you might think that are easy. But guys, there is no easy. There are no difficult. We are working to go back to victory, and I can tell you that working here is not difficult. Reassuring me, reassuring the world. The potential of the club is incredible. He didn't say the team. He say the club is incredible. With respect to other clubs, pay attention, because here is going with a message to all the other clubs from Serie A, the clubs from the world that are watching, that are observing Juve, and with the respect for the other clubs, I've only seen such an attractiveness at Liverpool, when he was at Liverpool, bringing us immediately to, again, the top clubs, not only of Italy, but the top clubs of Europe. It's a long way to go again, ragazzi, calma, calma. But that's what he's sending us. as a message. Juventus is a strong club. Juventus is a big club. Juventus has all the potential in the world to go back and to do well. We want to convince people that we are a team that can go back to victory. Ragazzi, without entering the detail, I loved. I loved because what I'm feeling now, and it's only words, I totally understand it. It's a feeling of, ragazzi, we are working, we know what we are doing, give us time because we are on top of the situation. And for the people that are saying, Beppe, acts, please, not words, facts and acts instead of blah 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 blah. How many times did we hear a new project and this and this and this? I can tell you that sometimes words are already acts. Giving you an example, not underselling, not being actually under some agents is already an act. Warning people, clubs, players is already an act. Positioning Juventus again back on the map as strong, giving that aura of strong club is already an act. Do you remember when I told you that this year you could tell me everything, but I didn't want to hear? Even if I could understand it financially, but I didn't want to hear about our objective is entering in the top four. Minimum objective is top four. I didn't want to hear it. I explained it in the last 2 years that I could potentially understand it, but I was missing a word. Financially is the minimum objective. Sporting wise, I want to go back to victory. And this is what Damien is telling us. And that's what I appreciate. These were also kind of the words of Scannavino a few weeks, a few months ago. I believe it was the end of May, that Juventus need to do everything to compete again, to go and try to win the Scudetto. Again, it's not a promise, but working towards it is a huge, big message. Then, if we go really fast towards what he said, and what I loved, and that's really difficult for people that didn't watch the videos by themselves, is the way that he's saying it in a reassuring, convincing way, knowing what he's saying, aware of the message that he's saying. When, for example, he speaks about Dusan Vlahovic, he says, look, we spoke in the USA, we had a really great discussion, and we agreed that he can leave. If the right offer arrives, he is allowed to leave. I love the word allow. You know why? Because it made me think that you are on top of the situation, that you are the boss again, that you are the one that is deciding. We allow you to leave. It's a word, it's a simple word, but maybe it's the most important word that I heard in all the interviews of Damien Comolli yesterday. You are allowed to leave if the right offers arrive that didn't arrive yet. Important, huh? Important words. We decide, not you, not your agent, not Milan that is giving us Benacer, Tomori, or whatever, Ciao, whatever player. No, no, no. We decide if you are allowed to leave or not. I love that. When he speak about Douglas Luiz, he said, look, he disrespected all of us, and I'm demanding respect. You know, when I started with respect the club, nobody's bigger than a club. These words were towards Douglas Luiz, but also a message to all the other ones. But that's what he said about him. Then he said he apologized to the team, to the coach, to me. Important words, huh? Important words. You don't joke with Juve anymore, huh? I love that. What about Colomani? Speaking about strikers after Dusan Vlahovic, he said he wants to join Juve. We know it, we are aware of it. But with Jonathan David and with Dusan Vlahovic, we have no rush. Also sending a message to Paris Saint-Germain. Look, guys, we already made an offer. You know what we can do. You agree with it, fine, great, but at the moment we have no rush. So don't expect us immediately to spend 25 million euros just for a loan with an obligation to buy. Calma. We are on top of the situation. At the moment we have no rush. Then of course he's playing poker. Of course he's playing poker and have his card here and he's playing a game if we want to, because things can go really wrong. We know it. If we are looking at the team of today, we know that it's not a Scudetto team. We know that it's not a top four Champions League team. He is aware of it, even if he insists in the potential of the club. He didn't really, but sorry, he didn't really mention the potential of the team immediately. That's why he's also a bit cautious on that one. What about Weah? He's also sending a message to the agent to Olympique Marseille, telling, look, he wants to go to Olympique Marseille. There are absolutely no secret about it, but nobody is pushed to leave. That's a huge big difference with last year. Do you remember Cristiano Giuntoli, Thiago Motta putting a lot of players out of the team that at the end they were publicly on the market. It was sale moment where today he's telling you face to face nobody is obliged to leave. We are not pushing anybody to leave. The deal it will depend on the negotiation between Juve and Marseille. We must receive a good and correct proposal which at the moment didn't arrive. So he's sending again, he's telling us that what we are reading on the papers is totally correct here. We don't agree. Then you can tell me that the agent doesn't understand because we agreed on an offer from Nottingham Forest that was the same, and now we are not expecting it. Now we are not accepting it anymore. I totally understand, but it's different. It's not that difficult to understand. The first deal that we accepted with Nottingham Forest, first of all, there were two players involved. And secondly, and that's super important, it was before the 1st of July. So it was a 30th of June deal, which has a huge big difference, financial impact in our books. So he's telling again, no, no, otherwise he stays there. We don't care. What about Sancho? We have two of the best wingers in the world, offensive wingers in the world, Kenan Yildiz, Chico Conceição, and Nico is an excellent player. So if for Sancho, for example, a player is leaving, we will be ready on the transfer market. What about the new sporting director? And that's where he confirms. He says, look, guys, at the moment, no. He will arrive towards September, October. Telling us in other words, he didn't mention that, he didn't say that, but telling us in other words, we don't care because we already found the best one. We didn't want to rush to take a name that was available that could leave, that could join Juve immediately. We already find our guy. We have a name. Could be the one for Benfica. Could be the one from Benfica. We find the ideal one for Juve from the moment that he will leave. He will join Juve. We have no rush because we are on top of this situation right now. Ragazzi, that's what he said. Then we could speak about the interest for O'Reilly has been offered to Juve. I don't understand how you go from Yulment to O'Reilly, two total different players, also the way of playing. But he has been offered to Juve. Juve is parking him there. Then we will follow the situation. We could speak about the big steps from Nottingham for Douglas Luiz, but Juventus want 40 with an obligation to buy. Nottingham is giving 32, 35 million with an option to buy, which at the moment Juventus is not happy about, but Nottingham Forest could be the club for Douglas Luiz. And then what about Miretti? Because they spoke about it yesterday. Well, Napoli, they want to give 10 plus bonus. Juve says no. It's not a problem to let him go to Napoli. That is looking for a sub player for Kevin De Bruyne, but not for these conditions. And I'm quite optimistic that Damien will keep strong on these kind of strange nonsense offer. If you enjoyed the video, please put a maximum of like. Don't forget to subscribe. Grazie, forza, Juve.